Look up the group Patriot Guard Riders on the internet, and you'll find this definition: to shield families of fallen heroes from those that would disrupt the services for loved ones. The leader of the group in Central Illinois, with about 40 active members, says while he has never been in the service himself, he knew this was a way he could support those who have served.
Well, in 2005, we were at war, and a lot of the things that were happening bothered me. And then I saw a news program where a group of riders had shown up at a funeral. And the reason the riders were there is there was people who were protesting at the soldier's funeral. And the signs that they had and the things they were saying were very disrespectful and upsetting to the family. And then I learned about a group of bikers that showed up to shield the family from having to see or hear that. And I thought that's something I could do to make sure those families have peace.
Patriot Guard is a great organization, riders that volunteer their time, and you don't have to be a rider either to serve in the Patriot Guard, but it's a chance to honor veterans and people who've done community service at funerals, any ceremony, parades. It's a great opportunity to show the respect that a lot of the people didn't get during their careers.
Riders and supporters say they not only assist at funerals when requested by the family, they also will help in other ways, cleaning up homes of military veterans, providing home care help even. They recently handled a long motorcycle escort for a Vietnam Wall move through Western Illinois.
They do what most people don't want to do. People talk a good game, but they don't do what they say they should do. At any one time, and I don't know what the exact fact is, but around 1% of the American population is military. So you've just take 100 people and pick anything and look at the one person that's doing it, the 99 that aren't. That one person is Mike and the Patriot Guard people.
We will be there for you. If you request our services, we will be there. Even if there's one of us or 5 of us or 20 of us, we'll be there for you and your family.
This goes for law enforcement, first responders. We're there for all of them. And it's very humbling. I can't tell you how humbling it is when you're riding escort for a funeral and you see cars pull over on the side of the road and you know that the family behind you is seeing the same thing. It's one of the hardest things and best things I've ever done in my life.
Several members say their primary motivation is giving what they didn't receive and to give back after having been fortunate enough to walk away from their own military service alive and able to go on.
I feel somewhat guilty about not serving in Vietnam, which came along shortly after I got out of the service, but it was certainly an honor to be in the unit that I was in.
It's all about respect. I believe that we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have, and we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do if it wasn't for our veterans and our active duty who are overseas right now. So what we do is make sure that we show those families and those members of the military the respect that they should have. And we were founded by Vietnam veterans. And so when they came back, they were disrespected, and we've decided that will never happen again.
A lot of them went over after I got out that were in my unit. A few of them didn't come back, so it's kind of a way to honor the ones that did get the unfortunate opportunity to be in Vietnam.
I have to be there at the airport to welcome people home. We were not welcomed home, as you well know. I snuck home. My parents didn't even know I was coming home. I was gone for 3.5 years altogether without coming home at all, and nobody knew I was coming home. So this is my way of paying it back. If I see a Vietnam veteran, I automatically welcome him home, and more times than not, they do the same thing back. Welcome home yourself.
I think it's important to honor these veterans and their families, because a lot of them didn't get any acknowledgement when they served, even myself included. I said it was years before anybody even recognizes the fact that you served, took years out of your life. A lot of them did the ultimate sacrifice by giving their life, and a lot of them have been wounded, and they get very little credit for it. And not that anybody's looking for credit, but it is certainly nice to have someone at least recognize you for what you've done.
Most of us, Patriot Guard, we never knew the person beforehand. And one of the things we do, like say if we're at a visitation, we all do a final walkthrough just before they start their service and just pay respect to that veteran.
I mean, I don't want to say this wrong or sound like here we are, but Patriot Guard and the Legion Riders and the AMVETS and Quiet Pride and all the other support groups, those are alpha mentality people. Those are the people that go out and do things without being told, without being asked, and that's what Patriot Guard does. They do what everybody else talks about. Hey, we should go do this, but they remain at home or they remain angry and they discuss it while we're out doing it. You know, that's how I compare those people. They've got the heart, they just don't have the will.
When I look at the veterans, mainly the older ones that have come before me, that have made my career a lot easier, I think, and to pay some respect to them is great. And the response we get from the family members, especially if we're doing a funeral detail, is quite amazing and really nice to hear and humbling.
So what veterans do for us, it isn't necessarily for other veterans, it's for civilians. It's for the entire country. And this is my way of putting something back. My son is an Afghanistan veteran, served with the 173rd Airborne. And it really hit home for me as a parent, because my son Matt was in a very, very tough place, and on his last deployment, he lost 3 of his best friends. So I get it, and one of the things that Matt would ask me, is the Patriot Guard gonna be there, Dad? And we were. Everybody has a personal choice of what they want to support or not support, or where they want to spend their time. For me, I'm working full time, but it's so important for me to find the time. Even if it's cleaning up a veteran's yard or riding escort or standing in a flag line for hours, I know that that family sees what we're doing and society sees what we're doing, and maybe it makes them think a little bit about the respect that should be given to those that literally can lay it all on the line for us. And they've made a lot of sacrifices. And so I feel the sacrifice of my time and energy is nothing compared to what they've done.
We see people are very grateful, tears in their eyes, giving you hugs, and that's what it's all about. That's the reward that you get for doing it. It's an honor to do that for the veterans and the people that have served the communities.
It's something I'll do the rest of my life. And what I would just want people to think about is, where did our freedoms come from? And a lot of these people that have served in the military, especially the World War II, they're passing, and they should be respected. That's my thing, is just show the respect that they've earned and that the active duty are still earning, because they are the unsung heroes. You should have a room full of them here. It shouldn't be me. But if I can remind people of who they are, then I've done my job.